think we truly believe, as many architects and designers do, that we're here to improve communities. We're here to improve the built environment and improve people's lives. So the idea of MASS really began about 5 years ago. We had attended a talk by Dr. Paul Farmer. What Paul was in particular talking about was all of the work that they were building. We're building hospitals, we're building clinics, we're building even schools. He even talked about homes that Partners in Health was building. And as young architects, this was kind of fascinating. You're talking about architecture, but you're really calling it a better healthcare delivery program. You're calling buildings healthcare.
There's so little attention that goes into designing nice things for people who are both poor and sick. And this was clear to me from the get-go.
So this fascinated us, and we went up to him afterwards and of course asked, who are the architects you're working with and how can we get involved? How can we link in? How can we help those architects, those designers who are serving the most kind of underserved communities with your group? How can we help them?
I'm proud to brag about MASS. I'm very proud of what they've done and will do, because this discussion of how to use expertise to address pressing problems of people living in poverty is one that's been going on for some centuries now.
This is one of the key things that architects are able to provide. Somebody that can kind of recognize the key challenges, distill that content, and really be a translator of a kind of diverse group of people that are all seeking to achieve the same mission. Back when Partners in Health first arrived into Rwanda, they were collaborating with the Clinton Health Access Initiative to understand where was the area they could achieve the kind of impact they sought.
So what the Clinton Foundation did was really do early research on what were the deep needs and the deep deficiencies in the healthcare program of Rwanda.
And so they began in a region of southeastern Rwanda and then decided that Barera was the kind of next step.
I want to thank Dr. Farmer and all the Partners in Health. It's been a real honor for us to work with them in Rwanda. Everything about this hospital, including this beautiful setting, symbolizes the future that I believe we all want for Rwanda, for all of Africa, and for all the world.
We did not approach the project feeling that we already had the answers, and I think in a way that has really shaped our process is that it's really one that focuses on asking questions and leveraging an immense amount of knowledge in especially healthcare, where we had access to organizations that have a wealth of knowledge in this, and really what they needed was not someone to develop where the issues were, it was someone to translate that into the built environment.
They actually listened to us when we said, we need you to help us build the best hospital we can build in the middle of rural Africa. And then when we said, oh, and by the way, you really ought to come and live with us and listen to us and understand that we're going to revise these plans 8 million times, that kind of give and take is not always easy in work like this. And it really went well because there was this shared commitment to saying at the end of the day, our goals are almost identical, whether on the medical side or the design side. It's to bring the fruits of our arcane professional knowledge to bear on serious health problems facing people in poverty.
I think it's easy to distill that, in fact, this is the most effective way to do a project. It took 2/3 the cost of a typical project in 2/3 the time, meanwhile creating over 12,000 jobs, 4,000 of those for skilled positions. And then instead of taking that money and funding it in terms of international labor or materials, introducing almost $500,000 into the local community.
The Jirubuntu School is a school that opened in July. It's our second project that we built. Jirubuntu is a nonprofit in Rwanda that started because of orphans that emerged after the genocide. And the director, Eugene, started collecting these students and bringing them into a small building that he had and teaching them. That grew into this organization where he was using and leveraging students in the community that could pay fees in order to bring in other students who could not. So the goal of the building, when a donor came in and wanted to support Jirubuntu and support Eugene's work, was how can we make a building that's going to amplify that? How can we make a building that's going to amplify his goals and actually bring in more students, but also be able to serve many more underprivileged students? I mean, that's exactly what happened. The original enrollment was 100 students, and now it's 300.
Just as we help bring MASS into being and hope we've been good partners with MASS, MASS has changed us as well.
We see MASS really as a partnership organization, as an implementing body. There are so many projects out there that need to be done, so many new markets to be explored, that large organizations don't necessarily have the resources to dive into those markets, to activate those new sectors, to do the kind of R&D that's required to prove relevance. That's where an organization like MASS is needed, a translator, an implementing body that can partner with large organizations, governments, even small organizations, to help them achieve their impact on the ground.
And the more partners we have, the better the quality of our product will be, because we will have the kind of division of labor that you need. But if we don't have enough partners, then we have to share these tasks together. And I'd say, come on, the water's warm. It's actually fun work. It's very exciting work. And as you can see from the example of the projects that MASS is doing now, there's tons of work to be done.
We want to continue to grow and continue asking the questions that help guide us in creating our mission. When we arrived, what we found was that not only was architecture not a piece of the solution, architecture was actually the problem. The poorly built environment was leading to people getting sicker, contracting diseases like TB, and eventually killing them. And so there's a tremendous opportunity for architects to insert themselves into this as a part of the solution. And that's something that we see is scalable, replicable, not just for MASS, but for other architects, and that the market is huge to do this. And that it's not only this idea of a kind of moral imperative and our idea that we can contribute to a better society, but one that it makes smart business as well.
What if we could ask ourselves as designers, what if every person that works on this project is from the community in which it's meant to serve? What if every material that we use on any project is taken from the local environment, the local community in which it's being built for? Furthermore, what if buildings that are making us sicker are actually designed to make us healthier? It's not only about hospitals, it's about any infrastructure. It can actually help heal communities, can help strengthen the communities that we're working in, that we're living in, that we have across the world.